Hey guys, happy Saturday. Sorry there wasn't a video up yesterday. Life kind of got in the way, so there's going to be one now and then another one up in a few hours to make up for it. This one is just pretty much me adding more stuff on top of the layers that I've already done. Kind of tying it in together with some pan pastels and some portfolio water-soluble pastels. Just kind of, I don't know, I just keep adding stuff until I'm kind of happy with what the background looks like. And then, like I said before, whenever the book actually gets together and I sit down and I start working on it page by page, I'll wind up adding more stuff then to make a cohesive, completed page. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I don't know, like I can't talk through these whole videos because it's kind of just random nonsense and I'm kind of all over the place. I just pick a page and then whatever I decide that it needs, if it needs a border, then I add a border like I'm doing on this one. The water soluble oil crayons are my favorite because you just draw them on and then kind of smush them around, and that totally makes me happy. If I don't really like the background, I'll just keep spraying stuff on top of it until what I don't like kind of blends into the background. Like that page kind of looked a little choppy to me, but then after I added the stencils on top, then I was kind of happy with it. When I sit down and work on that page, a lot of that will probably be either painted over or gessoed over. You never know. All kinds of randomness happens when I actually sit down to work on a page. Here I'm using the fabric, I guess it's puffy paint or something like that. It's kind of like Perfect Pearls for scrapbooking if you're familiar with that. It's not showing up on the video. Kind of a lot of things don't show up very good on this video because I made it at like 1 o'clock in the morning and it was completely dark. And my lighting situation, not that fabulous. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm trying to talk through the whole thing, but I just don't have like a super lot to say about just random mess. I don't know. Just keep adding stuff. Like, to me, pages are never done for a long time. Like, they are done eventually, sometimes. But even in my art journal, sometimes months and months later, I'll go back and I'll look at something and then I'll wind up adding to it. This page makes me super happy. I love this stencil by, I think it's Crafter's Workshop. I totally intend on making that page graffiti on top of the brick, which I think will totally make my day when I get to that one. See that inside page and that one, I just decided that I completely liked it and I didn't want to do anything else to it because sometimes, I don't know, the background being simple is just as good as it being 100 layers and completely messy. Some stamps. What do you say about stamping? Put the ink on and then put it on the page? I don't know. See, we're a couple minutes in and I'm completely running out of things to say. I'm having a garage sale today for my scrapbook stuff. That's exciting. I'm moving, so I'm gonna have to pack up my entire studio. There's the airbrush paint. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that makes for a good day. Okay, on this page, I use the Glimmer Glam. Whenever you use the Glimmer Glam and the Glimmer Glaze, a lot of things don't work on top of it because it becomes kind of like a shiny surface, I guess. So you can't use watercolors on top of it, which includes the watercolor crayons, the water-soluble oil pastels, stuff like that. So that's a good thing to make sure that you keep in mind. I totally learned that by screwing something up. Drip strips are good. They're good. So these are the stencils that I originally made, and I kind of wanted them to look like ornaments, like Christmas tree ornaments, right? And then, so I'm just decorating them. That's all I have to say about it. I really like the correction pen. That's the first time I ever used it. I saw it on somebody's blog. I'm not really sure who. I would totally give them credit. It worked awesome. It worked way better than the Sharpie paint pen. It was just a little globby, but I kind of like that. So the paint pens, I kind of have a hard time getting the paint to actually flow out of it smoothly sometimes. So I don't know. I'm back and forth on them. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. It's a day-to-day thing for me on any given supply. Okay, here I'm using the Lumiere fabric paint. When I opened the jar, it was all the glitter and stuff was stuck at the bottom, and it kind of smelled funny. So I don't know if it's supposed to smell funny or if it was no good, but it made a really cool iridescent background. I really like that. I've had it forever, so maybe it does go bad. I don't know. I'm not really sure. After you make your stencils and stuff, another really good idea is using them as a mask. Then you can get perfect lines, and you're not going to go outside of everything when you're stamping and stuff. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of taping it down any which way, and I'm using these Hero art stamps, which I think are ancient. I got them at a garage sale, and they look like little ribbons. And I love them and will probably never get rid of them. I actually use them quite a bit in different things. A lot more in card making than art journaling and stuff, but they lent themselves to some Christmas ornament stamping. And see how it didn't go outside the lines? So awesome. This stamp I made at Inspired the year before last, I think. I took a class by Jane Powell, and she showed how to carve stamps. I actually said in the intro video that I was going to carve some stamps for this, and I never really got around to it. Life's been a little crazy lately. Here I'm using the pan pastels to do some shading around the ornaments so they look like they're kind of popping off the page. I'm not super awesome at shading, so I don't know. I just put some stuff on and then erase it. It doesn't really have to look perfect. I'm not making anything to go in a museum, so I just kind of roll with it. Some more masking with those awesome Hero art stamps, which I'm sure you're going to want to Google right now because they're that fabulous. Who needs to buy ribbon if you have ribbon stamps? And you can stamp the ribbon stamps on top of ribbon. How awesome is that? That's awesome. I made some cards like that. It made me happy. So I really think, I don't know, I think this journal is really coming together. It's making me happy. Everything makes me happy. But so far this journal is really making me happy. I think it's going to be a fun thing to do next month in the middle of my moving craziness. Here's that paint pen not coming out. Oh, it gets on my nerves. But when it does, it's really cool on the paper. Just, I don't know, getting it to actually come out takes some effort. What else? What else do I got? I don't know. I don't know what I got. I really need to get a darker green pan pastel. My friend was asking me last night if the pan pastels are worth it as opposed to regular pastels. I've never used another type of artist grade pastel. I've used like Stamper and Scrapbooker's pastels, I guess, and those didn't work at all. I wound up getting rid of them and I hated them and it was a big mess. So these definitely work better than those, but I don't know if like they work better than the stick pastel. I don't know. These are the only things that I've really used, so that's all I have to say about that. They are a little expensive. I didn't buy that many. I just bought some of my favorite colors, and then now, as kind of time's gone on, I can see other colors that I kind of want to add to my collection, but you know, just here and there. That stencil I got at Staples. I use it all the time. I have a big one and a small one, and it just adds kind of a geometric layer to everything. I love spraying through it. The letter stencil I think I got at Michael's. They come in a pack. And that grid stuff I've had for 100 years, and I got on sale. That's the Glimmer Glam, which has like chunky glitter in it, which is super cool. This page I wound up not liking at all. Like I don't know, it wasn't gonna come together. It wasn't making me happy. So I just took the inside of the stencil and I'm gonna use it to mask off kind of a half tree, or I guess it's a 3/4 tree. And then I'm gonna paint the rest of the background out with some regular craft paint. I was kind of thinking it wouldn't have very good coverage and I'd have to wind up gessoing it, but it wound up working fine. And then I just did some squiggles at the bottom of a paintbrush. And I got a pretty cool 3/4 tree.